consider being an introvert the key to my success.
Tell us more about that.
I think a lot of times when people contact a salesperson, they're afraid they're going to get someone real aggressive, pushy, trying to talk them into buying something real quick. And so they kind of have a little guard up and hold back. And so when they come in contact with someone like me or anyone else who's more on the introverted side, I think they relax a little bit. They say, okay, he's going to be okay. He's not a real fast talker, high pressure guy. He's not going to try to push me into something. And they kind of let their guard down and get comfortable. So it creates a good atmosphere for working with someone, and it works out. It really does work well.
How do you make the sale? When it's time to ask for them to write an offer that will get accepted, what do you do?
You might be a quieter person or introvert. I still think you can't be afraid to ask for the sale. People want to buy a house. That's why they are out with you. They're not just doing it for entertainment or fun. At the beginning, I spend more time listening than talking, which is a good thing in sales. And I learn what they want and get to know them and their goals. And after I show them a home or two or three or five or however many we end up looking at, I do it in a very simple, unsalesy manner. I always simply say, have you found a home you'd like to try to work something out on? That's it. Okay. Just a simple measure like that. And more often than not, they'll say, yeah, we like that last house we saw. Let's see if we can get it. So that's all it takes. Very easy, non-threatening, unsalesy, but yet it's still asking for a sale. It's asking for if they're ready for some action without trying to push them.
Got it. What about, do you work with more sellers than buyers?
I work both, but I do prefer the listing side because it's a little bit less time intensive and you can work with more sellers than buyers at once. Not quite as much chasing around. My parents used to be realtors. Okay. And I remember my father always told me about the assumptive close. Just assume you got the business. I look at the house, we sit down at the table, I go through my listing presentation, go through the market analysis. And I don't ask, I just assume they're going to list with me. So after we finish going over the market analysis, I simply pull out the seller's disclosure because that's the least threatening form to fill out. It's not a contract. And I say, first thing you need to do is fill out this disclosure about your home and hand it to them. That's it. I don't even ask for the sale or anything. They start filling it out, you got the listing.
Yeah, your style and my style is very similar in that piece of the approach where my closing question, it's how many ceiling fans do you have? Never
heard that one before.
Well, on my state contract, there's the personal conveyances is on the second page of it. And ceiling fans is one of those conveyances. And it's something that people have to think about. So it's a little bit of a pattern interrupt because you don't necessarily know the answer to that. Most people don't. You gotta sort of think through it to have them start oh, I guess we have 4 ceiling fans. All right, I just start writing it down, and then I start going through all the personal conveyances, which is a very similar to what you did, I think.
Exactly. You're just assuming they're going to list with you too. And if you stop and just say, do you want to list the home or you want to then it gives them a chance to say no, or I want to think about it. You just keep proceeding ahead and assume they're going to list with you.
Yeah. And then if they're not ready at that point, then
they'll stop you.
Yeah. And then, the objection is going to most likely be, I have to think about it. Mm-hmm. And, you can then just simply say, well, I understand that. And I want to make sure you're comfortable and confident to be able to hire me. I'm just curious, what is it that's left to think about?
Exactly.
And then just go in that direction. And let me ask you, so if you're an introvert, you're listening or watching this show right now, what advice can you give that person that will help them to instantly increase their production? Best
thing to do if you haven't already is get a CRM, enter all your past clients in there, and then reach out to them all and keep in touch with a follow-up like I mentioned. Or if you're new to the business and don't have a whole heck of a lot of past clients yet, put in your sphere of influence, people you do business with, people's businesses you patronize. And there's nothing to stop you from dropping off a little gift at a restaurant you go to or something and say, hey, just want to let you know I'm in real estate. If you ever hear of anybody looking to buy or sell a home, let me know. It's pretty easy to do.
Let me ask you, what is the biggest challenge that you're facing today?
The biggest challenge, I think like a lot of people for the last year or two, was working with buyers just because of the undersupply of houses and all the competition you're going up against when you write an offer. That's been the biggest challenge. So fortunately, I've focused largely on sellers the last couple of years because that's been much, much easier to work with.